this thing on.
Tell us about your morning routine.
First, I get up, do a meditation. The reason I do sunrise meditation, you want to see the light. It wakes you up naturally. You get your circadian rhythm, you know what I'm saying? All that, and you get the vitamin D. Then I'm straight into my Tai Chi. You gotta move the body, wake up the muscles, stretch, breathe, and the motion gets you flowing, gets you in the flow of the Tao. So that's key.
Then after that, I drink some green tea, and then I do my weapons. These are some of my weapons.
They don't let me use real weapons because, you know, I could break my parole.
After weapons, we do some slackline training, some parkour, some sneaking, all those important things every ninja must know.
Later in the day, do some reading, learn some philosophy, some history, learn about the tactics of the greats. You ever heard that saying, know thyself? That shit is so key, I didn't even realize. And a lot of people be clowning on ninjutsu, talking about ninjas like.
Everything has some value, except for ninjas.
That shit ain't real. That's what they think. But let me tell you what, this shit is real. It's as real as you and me, you know? You become aware of when people are trying to manipulate your emotions, when they're trying to provoke you, you know? Back in the days on the streets, I was easily provoked, I'm not gonna lie. You didn't have to do much or say much to awake the beast.
My inner demons.
You know, I got my demons too. You gotta tame them. Learn to control them, or they will control you. It's like Yoda said, you know, fear, anger, hate, these things
lead to the dark side.
It's all willpower, you know what I'm saying? All willpower. I was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. There was a lot of problems growing up in those streets, you know. I got into some mischief, got caught up in a bad crowd, you know, bad gang, if you will. Like, it was ride or die, you know. We was boys till the end, but it wasn't really good for me, for my development, because instead of the martial arts, I'd be training with cold killers on the streets. Because when you don't have much, you gotta take what you need. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You gotta get up and get after it. That's the only way.
So we got into a lot of street fights in those days, you know what I'm saying? But eventually,
when the law caught up to me, I had to reflect, I had to ask myself which direction I wanted to go in. And that's when I decided I wasn't gonna follow in their footsteps. I was gonna make my own path.
this monk didn't even blink an eye. He just sat there and watched me for hours and hours as I did my ninjutsu. And I could tell by how silent he was, how speechless he was, that this was the greatest ninjutsu he had ever seen. So in all these years since that day, I have never forgotten the day I knew that I was a ninja.
Yeah, I feel like being a ninja is just a part of who I am. You know, I was going by Shinobi way before this stuff was popular, before all these people came on the bandwagon. If you look at some of my earlier movies, you can see the making of a star, I would say, an action star. It's a lost art, you know, being an action star, a superstar. I don't remember my dad too much. You know, we wasn't close or nothing, but I do remember one thing. When he used to take me to Steven Seagal movies, that's how we bonded. My father, he loved Steven Seagal. He loved him. Excuse me. He would take me to the movies, and after the movie, he'd look at me, he'd hold my shoulder, and he'd say, "Son, promise me one thing. Promise me you'll be an action star." And that stuck with me to this very day. You know, I wouldn't say I'm a master or nothing, but I have been called that. You know, people have said that. I take that to heart. You know, it means a lot. I ain't let my head swell up. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna be myself and be real. And that's it. All the fame and accolades that comes with that, I can't control that. That's on y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Shinobi's full name is Shinobi Street Ninja.
That's why I did this outreach to the kids, and we help these kids off the streets, you know, because it ain't all just about money and fame.
And we don't just teach them how to fight, we teach them how to control their anger and their emotions so they don't get into street fights like I did.
What it's about is giving back. So that's why you got to go back to your roots. And it's about transcend all this race issues, all this hate, all this online, you know, bullying or whatever. That's what I'm trying to do, all right? And I'm trying to bring back respect on the name of ninjutsu and what it is to be a ninja. Because y'all see Naruto, you know, when he was a kid, he was lonely. He was an outcast. Then you start to realize you ain't alone. Everybody feels like an outcast. You gotta come together and overcome that shit. You gotta come together and fight to become better. And when you become a strong individual, that's when you can help your community. That's when you can help others. The name Shinobi should mean respect, love, giving back to the other, your brother. We all the same. We one big family. All right? We one big family on this planet. And people need to remember that. People need to recognize you ain't just you. You ain't just some ego. You ain't just some individual. You much, much more than that. You're the whole universe, the whole cosmos in one shell, in one vessel. And stay blessed. Shinobi out.